I'm here with my boy.
Petey, what's going on, y'all?
Hey, today we're going to be talking about the Caped Crusaders. Yeah, there's been a lot to say about this, a lot of action. This is a new Bruce Timm series that he's doing. He's doing in conjunction with J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, and Ed Brubaker. So it is.
Well, we also have James Tucker, who's also one of the key person in a lot of animation. He's almost the producer-wise one of the major guys who did the Brave and Bold, a lot of stuff. So I just want to.
I always thought it was Tim who was behind that whole
Tim,
thing.
yes, Tim's definitely the look, the feel. But James Tucker has been a guy who's been. They almost said, I think when we were at the Comic-Con, the Tuckerverse, where he's been doing so much stuff. So I just want to mention that because it's like. The names is Bruce Timm did Strange Days, like a trailer that he did during the Batman 75th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So this is taking that tone, but then we have a lot of major players involved. So we can't like take them out because they've been doing the animation for a while now, and we're going to deal with them. We're going to have to deal with some of them too because.
Right. So, look, I think overall there's some. We're gonna jump on the elephant right away, right?
What's the elephant?
Well, before we even jump, let's hold off on jumping on the elephant. Overall, this takes like a noir style. It's basically similar to what Brave and the Bold was, Batman Brave and the Bold.
Why do you say that?
Because of the style.
You're saying that one was the 50s Batman, and this is more the 40s and early 30s Batman.
I'd say around the same time. I mean, hey.
No, not the same time.
Okay, we disagree on that one. But look, the key thing though here is that whereas the Brave and the Bold was one of the best, I say one of the best animated shows ever. You know, do you agree with that? At least
it's an extremely fun show. I don't like that they had Batman who cheats, but besides that. I love the team ups. I love
the art,
the animation, everything in that series is very much classic. It was very much fun getting into the fun. It did have a little verses where in that period the heroes never really had that much banter. They just worked together. So it's adding kind of that Stan Lee kind of banter, but it was a great show.
Yeah, and I mean he was a real strong character, and you see the difference between Batman and Bruce Wayne.
What are you talking about in this one now here?
And over there too, but
Bruce Wayne was rarely in the Brave and the Bold.
But he wasn't in it a couple of times.
But I'm saying it was more Batman show.
But Batman's adventure. Well, here we have the difference where you have more of Bruce Wayne, yes, I would say. But I think so let's start talking about the very first episode.
Well, ultimately, we can talk about the first episode. I want to say, if you look at Strange Days, and hopefully at the beginning of this video, I'm going to be playing the Strange Days trailer that Bruce Timm did to get to that moody feel that was that he did when he did this for the 75th anniversary. That was his take on the animation, and he brought back the Batman of old, the original design of Batman, and with the ears pointing out. The purple gloves, the short gloves, that sort of thing. So it felt like we were getting Dr. Death. All that stuff was coming into play. So this was an area that Bruce Timm wanted to play. And this would get Batman into the same realm as the Fleischer animation, where it was basically those most primal Superman that you could have. You have Clark Kent looking into what's going on, and then you immediately had Superman going into action. Very simple stories. It was done in between movies, or before movies, where they would have you this, or in intermissions, they would have these cartoons, the same with the Looney Tunes, but they had Superman going on, and this was why people look at my uncles were like, oh, these are terrible. They're so like, no, they're so energetic for the period of the time. So there was that. What do you want to say?
Well, I'm just saying we just want to make.
Yeah.
So, let's go into the issue with the first episode.
What's the issue with the first episode?
Oswalda.
Oh, you're talking about the
penguin.
Female penguin?
The female penguin. I mean, look.
You don't like a full-figured with two
knucklehead sons?
With a butter face?
So one of the things that they're doing in this series, they're making it a much more diverse group of characters there. And so you have Barbara Gordon and her father are black. You have Harley Quinn is Asian. You have, well, Montoya was always a Latina, so it's definitely a much more diverse cast than what we had before, and which is good. We want to have a much more diverse cast, but bending the I guess the sex of one of the main characters, a known character such as Penguin, to me is just not.
So is Penguin a full-figured woman or something else?
Penguin is a man, and the problem I see
In the cartoon?
not in the cartoon.
I'm saying, are they going that far with it? I just want to ask the question.
So it's the woman. So the issue that I have is that, one of the problems I constantly find with people who want to get into comics and people who want to get into shows, animated shows, superhero shows, is that, depending on the medium they're reading at that time, things can be very different. You know what I'm trying to say? And here you have the whole thing with Oswaldo. So I was just talking to someone recently who's like, yeah, man, I'm interested in the new Batman, but I'm a little confused, like, what's going on here with this whole, what do you call it, Oswaldo? Like, why did they make her a woman? I don't know. Why would they make her a woman? I know you want to change up things and be a little diverse.
Maybe it could build into one of those kids becoming
the Penguin, exactly. But she killed one. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? And the other one she was hunting down. So
you want to talk about the elephant in the room, the gender bending, the gender switching is not bending. Sorry, it's gender switching.
Okay.
Having Montoya, who was a lesbian character, she's front and center.
Well, there's nothing. We know that character as is, so that character exists. There's no changing for Montoya.
But it's a cartoon, like it's Batman. It's not Harley Quinn where they were going for the lesbian relationship and saying that they're in love. Now we're saying we're doing another cartoon and we need to see them dating.
Exactly.
And this sort of thing. We're iffy on. We know Montoya is going after, Harleen Quinzel, but she could be going after the new DA, which is, she's not the DA, but she's like the
public defender?
The public
Barbara
defender, Barbara
Gordon. Yeah.
She's more like Harvey Dent than Harvey Dent is.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of switches. The race change of Commissioner Gordon and Barbara Gordon. So there's a lot of changes where, ultimately to do another cartoon and do Hollywood stuff, you usually make changes. But we've seen with the Batman cartoons, we've had the classic Batman cartoon, which was the one we saw in the 90s by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. And then we saw The Batman, which was a younger take, but at the same time, it was still all the same dynamic. It was just like a slightly younger Batman, but they had Robin, they had Batgirl, they had the whole same. The villains looked a little jazzier and whatnot, but sort of youthful, but it was all the same stuff. And then as we went to the next thing, The Brave and the Bold, that seemed like still some of the same stuff. And then we get to this, and they're like, we get on Hollywood where we have changes. And what I was hoping for some changes, but not the changes that they're doing. What I was hoping for was to go back to the Batman from Detective 27, where we don't have Alfred, we don't have Bruce Wayne acting like he's a playboy. I like the early Batman that was friends with Commissioner Gordon, and he was interested in being the detective. When he would run off, Commissioner Gordon would be like, oh, he's not interested, right? So that kept the thing of him not being Batman, but it was a very simple dynamic. And Bruce Wayne, but they're playing up the Bruce Wayne being, he's in the car when he's not, when it's Pennyworth, he's like, he's got the justice voice when he doesn't have the mask on.
He has the Batman voice. So basically, when he's not talking to somebody regular in public, he's not using the smooth, debonair Bruce Wayne voice. But when he sits with Alfred, that's when he's supposed to be showing his true self. He's talking in the Batman voice. And you're like, what the hell is that?
He can't be a kid running around talking justice. Like all his life, since his parents died, he developed this voice. It should just be normal and maybe umps it up for what's the name. Maybe there's a tone difference, but it's a little much. It's going too much into the Frank Miller stuff.
But I don't have a problem with that.
I have a problem with that.
No,
big
I have a problem. I don't have a problem with that.
You call me up with the problem with the voice. Don't lie.
So what I'm saying, the issue is that now this series basically says Bruce Wayne. Because we've always had this debate: is Bruce Wayne Batman or is Batman Bruce Wayne? Who's the alternate identity. And basically, what you're saying is that Bruce Wayne doesn't really exist. He's only the cover for Batman. Because in your most private moments, that's what we're talking about with Alfred. In your most private moments, you're talking like Batman. What does that tell you?
I say Bruce Wayne is Batman. So this thing of the split personality thing that they developed, that in his voice he's Batman. Batman he still was born Bruce Wayne, maybe to some extent. Like, that's the thing, when you go to the Batman of the 30s or the 40s or 50s, this is a person who has made his pledge to stop criminals, and he's well adjusted because he's going out and stopping criminals. He's doing exactly what his pledge is. He's not someone that's struggling with his decision.
But here in this one, in the way they're making it seem, he's obsessed with this. And so his whole life pursuit isn't to do anything else but to do that. And so that's where we're saying that personality is dominant over the other personality, right? He only does the...
that's what I'm saying. What I saw when I saw the early Batmans...
I'm saying right now, in this show, what do you see?
I'm seeing everything that you're saying, and I'm not liking that.
Okay.
So, everything you said you said is what they're saying. He's a split. He's more Batman than Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is just there to substantiate that Bruce Wayne is not Batman. He acts like he's drinking. Everything that Frank Miller did is just a total fake personality, and that's really not the character to me. You know, even if Batman is his main focus.
Now, I mean, so we've talked about some of the things that detract us from the story a bit, but what about things that we like about it? I mean, look at the animation. I think the animation is off the chain. I think the stories seem to be pretty tight, you know, in that classic mold that they had before. I think that they're introducing characters. I like the Harvey Dent character. I like the way he's developing. It's a serialized story where you have him in multiple episodes, and you're seeing little by little who he really is turning out to be.
Because Barbara is taking on Harvey Dent's role, even though
Harvey Dent was a prosecutor. He wasn't a defense attorney.
But the fact is that Harvey Dent was a character that was always straight-laced.
Yes.
And about justice. He was legally what Batman was. And even Frank Miller didn't try to mess with that. The cartoon, Bruce Timm has tried to make Harvey Dent have some issues in his head. But the way Frank Miller had it, like, Harvey Dent is straight-laced, and that's what we got in Barbara as a defense attorney. And I didn't like that. And I especially, if you've seen the dynamic duo.
Harvey? Wrong, Batman. I'm not Harvey. I am evil incarnate. I am Two-Face.
Cartoon with Two-Face, where we had William Shatner as Two-Face. That is the quintessential Two-Face. That is the voice. So when I saw that...
Wait. Which episode?
You know that Adam West and Burt Ward were doing an animation thing for Batman.
Right.
And they did like 2 or 3 movies. And the last one they did before Adam West passed, they did with Two-Face, which was a leftover thing, and it had William Shatner as Two-Face. Even though they did the split personality when he became it, when he was a district attorney, he was someone Batman trusted.
I didn't realize that was him.
And he was great in that. So it's like this was a
his
little
voice acting. You're talking about
his voice acting.
I didn't realize that was William Shatner. I didn't realize
it was really good. So it's they're playing second fiddle. They try to make him more. They make him like the way the Joker is in The Killing Joke. Like, he was this guy with his problems, and he slowly spirals into becoming Two-Face. So,
I mean, so overall, I mean, the thing with this series, you have some very strong, I guess, writers here. You have Bruce Timm is involved in the story. You have some Jace Reese. I'm not too familiar with Jace Reese. Greg Rucka, Ed Brubaker. I mean, I'm talking about, these are some of the big heavy hitters from the DC, what do you call that, the DC stables, who've come out to get involved in this particular series. You can't deny the quality of their writing. But again, the thing, I go back to this, they want to be diverse, and I get it. I'm all for diversity. But it's like they do it in such a way to piss people off. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. It's like, I just go back to Penguin. I mean, why make Penguin a woman? I go back to what I'm saying. You have a story. They're spending millions of dollars to have what's the name of that actor play? They're having a story show on Max. You know, with the Penguin now.
Yeah,
Colin Farrell, right? He's going to play. I mean, he's done a fantastic job in the change and the makeup and how he's made to look like the Penguin. And then you turn around and do this. I mean, you should be supporting basically what's going on. So people, when they look at it, they're like, "Oh, that's Penguin. I kind of recognize that Penguin." Not make it that it's so crazy, like, "Yo, I'm not sure," or I don't know. Like you said, I was thinking too. Probably that Penguin is a precursor to the Penguin's son becoming him. But they just seem too young. I just don't know.
So then, if that's the case, you bringing that up. What's the we've added another female villain now. We've added, like, what was it? We have Harvey. We have Harley. We have
Harley's a villain already before she
we have
becomes part of the Joker.
Nocturna. She's like, it's like a split amount of a female, almost a split of like 4 female villains to maybe 5 male or 6 male villains. No, I guess no. Harvey is in the thing, and the cops are evil. But let's, I know we don't have much time. So, what are your favorite episodes? Because I will say that the show is a little slow, and if you watch it at different times, you might fall asleep. Because I have fallen asleep, and I wasn't with it till episode 3. So my favorites are like the one with Catwoman. I like the one with Harley. I like this new Harley. I don't like Harley better than the original one.
But you see, that Harley threw me off because this Harley is already a criminal before she does. I mean, and I can see how it could work out.
She was already a bad person before she got to the Joker, and then she went further. A lot of people liking the last 2. I like the Nocturna one. I like the Nocturne one. That one too. I like the one with the ghost also, just because it was weird. But my main 3 are the Catwoman. The Catwoman was closer to the Catwoman from the Golden Age. The Harley one was just weird, which was fun. I didn't like at the end Take Care of Babs, but I like Nocturne because it was just another dark episode.
Well, I liked, my favorite ones were the ones with Catwoman. I like that one. I also like the episode with not the Harley episodes, the one where they decide to make Bullock and what's the Bullock's friend, the
Black
brother?
Flash.
Yeah. Yeah,
or Flash,
where they got together and they're like, you know what, we're gonna get this criminal out to try to flush out the firebug, to flush out of. And I'm like, yo, these guys are like I didn't expect that out of this show.
Yeah.
But you see, this is what I'm saying. Where these shows are really not for kids.
Yeah.
I mean, this show is a more adult show. And when they took him out and they like, said, oh, we're gonna leave you and leave. They left him with his equipment out there, and then he just went crazy, started burning things up.
He was also
and they
really
didn't care.
Weird. He was really weird with it.
They didn't care. They wanted to save, and they do things to. The mayor actually likes them, because they do things there. So you're like, okay.
And they took out. Ultimately they handled the business at the end of the episode. Yeah. So the town likes them.
The town likes them. So yeah. So those are my favorite episodes.
The Firebug.
And I liked Harvey Dent. You didn't like Harvey Dent.
I wasn't really. I mean, Harvey, I think I liked the fact that in the comics he was an upstanding guy, and it's just like something terrible happens and it comes out of nowhere. It's just like instantaneously he becomes Two-Face. And every time he comes back, he goes to normal when you fix his face. And then when he gets split again, he goes back to losing it, and he plays to the key. This one, he was, because you had Barbara as kind of what the Frank Miller Harvey Dent was, where they also did the the Long Halloween, where Harvey was a part of this team with Commissioner Gordon and Batman.
Right.
So that was the role that that Barbara played. So it was kind of, and I didn't really want Commissioner Gordon to be this early on become close with Batman, because I liked, as it went along, the comic book probably around 43 or 45, 1945, Commissioner Gordon was like Batman gets framed, and Commissioner Gordon was like, I can't have Batman and Robin go to jail. These guys doing better police work than us. And that's when he kind of deputizes them and he defends them in court and they get out. So it would have been fun to get to that. But every time...
But he realizes he's doing good work, and that's why, you know, he has to cut him some slack.
I just don't want to get to the Frank Miller. Batman is a broken sort of guy who can't put this hero thing together, so he needs Commissioner Gordon to keep him from getting killed by the cops.
I didn't get that for
They didn't do that because Batman was very good at his job.
Yeah,
but I just want some more time where Commissioner Gordon is iffy on Batman. You know?
So hey, overall we are interested in the series. We can't give it a 100. We can't give it because there are some things that are, like I said,
it's not the Batman animated series. I think across the board, the animated series killed it. I enjoyed the Batman. I enjoyed Brave and the Bold. And the movies that they did for the Batman animated series were great. This is questionable. And I'm sorry to say that. I'm not putting in...
I'll compare it to the Judas Contract, which just changed my, like, yo, what the heck? Why didn't you follow the book? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It kind of pissed. But listen, if you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Spinner Rack.
Out.